Who knew that TikTok would reignite my love for books? And now I just can't stop. Hey, I'm Emily and I am gonna be reviewing and rating some of the TikTok famous books, so let's get started. Also, if I sound like I have a cold, it's because I'm getting over one, so I apologize for the nasally voice beforehand. First up, Ali Hazelwood's Love Hypothesis. It's a fake dating trope, very swoon-worthy. It gave me butterflies because the story was written so well. It kind of reminded me a little bit about my life. I met my husband in grad school and he was a PhD student, and you follow Olive and Adam effing Carlson in this book, and they are both smarty pants working in science. I love that she had her own goals and stuff that she was working towards, but also had love intertwined in her life. So I like that there was a good balance of both. It's not just her fully 24/7 just fixated on how she likes him. There were some eye rolls because really in this crowded auditorium is the only place where you can sit is in his lap. But I still think about that scene. Like, it's so cute. Oh, she was so comfortable sleeping on him in the auditorium where there was a bunch of people. Stuff like that didn't kind of make sense, but you know, who cares? It was easily forgiven because it was so cute. 4.5 stars. Next, we have Tessa Bailey's It Happened One Summer. Do not let the cutesy cover fool you. This is full-on spicy romance. It had great plot. It was believable. Grumpy Sunshine romance trope. I liked their romance. I did not like how quickly he called her baby. That came out of nowhere. You were just hating her and all of a sudden she's baby. But it was still swoon-worthy. It was still cute. I really liked it. It was not that much eye-rolling for me for this book, so I gave this 4.5 stars. Next, we have a not-so-swoon-worthy book, The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. The cover is so cute. It has all this math in the background if you can see. It's so nerdy, cute looking. Oh, it's gonna be like a nerdy romance. No, it was uncomfortable to read. I had high expectations for this because of the cover, to be honest. So you follow Stella, who has Asperger's, and Stella and Michael are trying to get Stella to be more comfortable with physical touch and all that, but she felt so uncomfortable, so I kind of felt uncomfortable too, which I guess is the point to the book as well, because it's teaching people not everybody is comfortable with physical touch, which is great, but also there were little parts to it that it kind of broke that I was immersed in the story. For example, like, she has a Tesla. It's written that Stella got into her Tesla, turned on the on button, and drove. But Teslas don't have on buttons. They don't have the push to start button. Once you unlock the car, the Tesla car is on. So that kind of like took me out of the story. I feel like I'm being a little bit picky about it, but also there are a couple of scenes where I'm just like, is Michael even someone who deserves Stella? I couldn't find myself thinking that he was a person that I was rooting for Stella to be with, and then I had to leave for Korea. I felt like it would be a waste in my suitcase, so I just DNF'd it. Even though I didn't finish this book, 2 stars. Next, we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Everyone, I feel like, has heard of this book for sure. This is such a popular book. Oh my gosh, it's so popular. So I had to read this. You follow Sadie and Sam. They are both really into gaming and they create a game, and you follow kind of what feels like their entire life story from very young childhood to adulthood. I mean, the book is pretty thick. Not only that, it's just because of the lifelong story of it all, it does feel like a long read, but it's such a good read. It surprised me a lot, so I really like that it kept me on my toes and I didn't know exactly what was gonna go on. How does she even think of this stuff? I think it is worth the hype. I really like this book. 5 stars. Better than the movies by Lynn Painter. I read this because Haley Pham really raved about it, and I love this book. This book is so cute. It is a young adult romance. It doesn't have any spy scenes in it, and the characters are lovable. Book itself, it made sense. Like, I don't think I eye rolled at least even once while reading this book. It reads a little bit young because they are in high school. I kind of have to remember, like, oh yeah, during high school, life was like this. Knowing that it's more geared toward a younger audience, but I still enjoyed this book, so 5 stars. Beach Read by Emily Henry. This book is so popular amongst the Emily Henry books even. It was okay. It was not bad. Not to put a damper on things, but I didn't like it as much as I feel like other people liked it. It follows Gus and January. Gus is a thriller novel writer and January is a romance novelist. Somehow she ends up living next to his house. They decide to bet each other that they cannot write each other's type of genre, and this is how the love story ensues. It was not bad. It was cute. I still gave this 4 stars. And then we have another viral Emily Henry book, Book Lovers. I like the feeling of this book compared to this book. Like, this is really smooth, but for some reason this book has a little bit more texture to the cover, so I kind of like it. Anyways, this follows Nora and Charlie. She is a literary agent and he is a book editor, and kind of a small town romance but with a twist. I actually like this one better than beach read, which is probably an unpopular opinion, but that's just my opinion. I gave this one 4.25 stars. Okay, now let's talk about a book I really was eye rolling. What in the Fine Print by Lauren Asher is this book? This book is the definition of you're so lucky you're pretty, because this is a really pretty book cover. This is one of the prettiest book covers I've ever seen. And if it were not for the book cover, if it had anything else, like, you know, let's say a guy bearing his abs, definitely would not have picked this up. You follow Rowan and Zara. Rowan is a billionaire owner of Dreamland, which is supposed to be the equivalent of Disneyland. And Zara is just this low-level worker within this Dreamland. And all of a sudden, he just kisses her. Like, it's in the back of the book. Like, it's not a surprise. So in my head, this billionaire is gonna be risking millions of dollars and his reputation and all this headache with HR just so he can kiss this girl he's not even talking to. Like, they have not even established any sense of like romantic relationship, and he just kisses her out of nowhere. And Zara is no better. She gets kissed, and then after all that happens, she's still like, oh, I don't know how he feels about me, and also treats him like with the most disrespect. If you were a worker in your dream company, would you be treating your boss with disrespect and showing your annoyance at him? No, you would not. So it didn't really make sense for me in that aspect. It was kind of a dumb love story, to be honest. I do not get the hype for this. And I say that, but I still have Terms and Conditions, the second book, ordered. So what does that say about me? I will probably also buy the third book because the cover is so pretty. This honestly was such a quick read, so might as well just finish the 3. But anyways, 3.75 stars, which is very generous for this book. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. From the cover, it looks so cute. It looks so adorable. It looks like they're gonna have the most lovable, cutest romance. And no. What? Did not like this book. What in the... This was probably one of the worst books that I read thus far. In general. Overall. This follows Anastasia, the ice skater, and Nate, the ice hockey player. Why was she so mean to him? And why was he so golden retriever puppy dog love to her when she was so mean to him? It wasn't like a, oh, I don't want to do anything with you, I don't like you, whatever. It's more like a, I'm gonna put in effort to make sure that you are annoyed, you are stressed out, because I find that entertaining. And that's what character she was. I did not find her likable. And up until reading this book, I honestly thought that if the guy was likable, then I would enjoy the romance, but I really did not like her, so I ended up not liking the romance. So I found out, for my preference anyways, that I have to like both characters. 2.5 stars. Okay, I feel like I've been mostly bashing TikTok famous books, so this next book I will not be bashing, and I really liked The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is such a good book. I really enjoyed this book. Just from the title of this book, it kind of intrigues you. Like, 7 husbands? Why did she divorce those husbands, and how does she get together with the next husband? Also, is the 7th husband finally the one? What's going on here? When I first saw this, I immediately thought of Elizabeth Taylor, because she also has a few marriages under her belt, and I was kind of like, Evelyn, E, they both start with E. This book is not hyped up for nothing. I really enjoyed this book. I kept wanting to read it. It was a page turner for sure. The Evelyn Hugo selects Monique Grant, a reporter, I think, to write her authorized biography. It's just Evelyn Hugo talking about her life story, telling Monique Grant about what happened throughout her life. And you just get so immersed in the story. Like, you really feel like you're Monique Grant and Evelyn Hugo is telling you about her life story, and you just kind of like, wow, what happens next? It's just so good. I forget that Monique Grant is there, and it feels like Evelyn Hugo is talking to me. And needless to say, this is 5 stars. Well, no, I should say it's 5 stars, but it was obvious it was 5 stars, right? This next one is going to be my introduction to TikTok's fantasy hyped books, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I thought this book was okay, but a lot of other people think that the first book within the trilogy is just okay. So you know what I did? I anticipated that. I just went ahead, without knowing that I'm gonna like the books, bought all 3 as a set. And so now I have to read it. that's the rule. I kind of thought the rules for some of the magic stuff was a little bit weird, like turning your clothes inside out, like, really? I just started The Wicked King, as you can see. I will be seeing how I like the rest of this trilogy and will be giving you an update on that. Anyways, 3.75 stars. These indie covers are like everybody wants to get a hold of them. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. What in the toxic relationship, I want to smack some senses into you kind of book is this? I was told that this is basically Gossip Girl but in London setting, and that's pretty much true. But you know the differences between Gossip Girl and this book? You get to see the pretty stuff and pretty outfits on Gossip Girl, whereas this one you have to imagine the pretty stuff. I would rather watch Gossip Girl than read this book. Like, they're both toxic relationships and both of them are like, what is wrong with you? But at least in Gossip Girl you can see the pretty people and you can see the pretty outfits and the pretty jewelry and the pretty bags. But this one, they tell you what the person is wearing, but unless you are some luxurious good connoisseur, you have no idea what they're wearing. You just know, okay, they're wearing something that probably cost thousands and thousands of dollars. But without knowing how it truly looks, like, it's not as satisfying. Kind of imagine Chuck and Blair reading this. Like, Magnolia Parks is the female main character and she is in this kind of relationship, not really, with BJ. I did not like BJ. I was annoyed with Magnolia, but that didn't stop me from buying the rest of the book. So I have the other 3 indie cover books on the way in the mail here. 3.25 stars. Next we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This book follows Alexis, who is an ER doctor, and also her romantic love interest is Daniel, who is this small town guy who is very skilled in carpentry. This is an age gap romance, but in the reverse sense, in that he's younger and she's older. I wasn't finding myself super invested in this relationship, so it was an okay read for me. Or maybe I'm just personally interested if it's an age gap romance and the guy is the older one, so I don't know. But if this age gap romance where the guy is younger tickles your pickle, then this might tickle your pickle. Overall, 3.75 stars. Next, we have the Twisted series. Twisted Love being the first book. I was pleasantly surprised by this book. It was pretty fast paced and like a super quick read. This one's hard because I did enjoy this book, but I also was kind of like, what the heck, really? This book is a love story if you're looking for drama, but that's not realistic. But it was still fast-paced, which is why I liked it. This follows Alex and Ava, and Alex is the brother's best friend who is super overprotective of Ava, and Ava is just this slightly naive girl, happy-go-lucky, like nothing's gonna go wrong. Overprotective older brother's best friend trope, like that's a popular trope. No one's gonna be thinking that this book is gonna be longlisted for the Booker Prize. It's just a quick, fast read, and you want to read this in an afternoon, and that's what this is. And I give this 3.5 stars. I followed that up with another super viral book called Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I know you have seen this book somewhere. Everyone calls this book a brick. I mean, it's shaped like a brick, but what I didn't know was that this book has a really good floppiness to it, so... This book has a really good floppiness to it, so I was really enjoying the reading experience as I was holding the book. It was easy to open and read, and I didn't have to crack the spine, so it was really nice. It's a thick book, but I didn't feel like it was unnecessarily long. I enjoyed the romance with it. It's a grumpy sunshine romance. Follow Knox and Naomi. Knox is the grump and Naomi is the sunshine. She has an evil twin sister, causes mayhem, and this had one of the dumbest third act breakups I've ever seen in any of the romance books thus far. It made the least sense out of all the third act breakups in any romance novel that I've read so far. Why? But I will be reading the rest of the series and hoping that third act breakups are not as dumb as this one was. That third act breakup was completely unnecessary. It was so dumb. Did I mention how dumb it was? I didn't know how to rate this book because of that stupid third act breakup, but I did enjoy it while I was reading it, so I will give it a 3.5 stars. And those are all the books for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I will be reviewing other TikTok famous books and other books in general on this channel, and let me know if you have any books that specifically you want me to review. I will be seeing you next time, and bye!